Kyrie Irving, LeBron James. What's something you hear when these two names are together? Dynamic duo, greatness, champions. From their last game in Cleveland, together many have hoped that they would see a reunion one day, but alas, that always seems like a crazy fan-filled dream. But until now. It might seem like a reality with all the turmoil going on in Brooklyn regarding Kyrie and the Nets, and with LeBron's past recruitment of Kyrie before signing with Brooklyn, he really wanted to reunite in LA. But alas, that did not happen. Kyrie signed with Brooklyn and wanted to team up with Kevin Durant, but as we've seen over the last couple years, that has not panned out to be something that has been pretty. There's been a lot of turmoil. Kyrie's missed a lot of time. They haven't looked great even when they were on the floor together, and bringing in Harden seemed to really mess things up even more. So why not have the reunion be in Los Angeles? Everyone knows the rise of Golden State has once again just started, with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green bringing back the trophy to the Bay Area. And why not have Kyrie Irving and LeBron James team up to come back and show them they're the best duo in the NBA. But it's going to take a lot of team sacrifice, a lot of team building, and just a lot of work on the LA Lakers' part to make this happen. But if it does, the whole NBA world better watch out. The Brooklyn Nets have came out and said that they are outright unwilling to sign Kyrie Irving to a long-term extension. With that being said, as you can guess, rubbed Kyrie the wrong way, with him being one of the greatest talents in NBA history, not just in the current NBA. His skill set is one of the best to ever play, up there with around the likes of Michael Jordan. But of course, a lot of off-court issues and certain fits and injuries have stopped him from really reaching his full potential as a player. And the only times we've seen him really hit his apex is when he was playing with LeBron James. So why not make this reunion happen? It could be great for both parties. And there is no fault to the Brooklyn Nets not wanting to re-sign him. As I said, he's a great talent, but there is issues, and there has been, trust issues going on with the Brooklyn Nets and Kyrie Irving for some time now. If the Brooklyn Nets do not pay Kyrie Irving and he does not want to remain a Net, what are some options for him to go to LA? There is a couple scenarios in which this could happen, but first and foremost, does Kyrie Irving want to be a Laker? We all know that LeBron James has been very vocal and adamant about wanting to play with Kyrie again, even recruiting him before he signed with the Brooklyn Nets to come play in LA. So if he didn't want to play in LA then, why does he want to now? And there are a couple reasons that might fill that answer. With the fit issues and really not being able to play as much as he's liked to over the last couple years, Kyrie is definitely looking to prove the doubters wrong. And playing with LeBron James again would definitely fulfill his fantasy, because this is one of the best fits that we've seen a duo have in quite some time. Their playstyle together is by far one of the best. If you've watched Kyrie and LeBron play, when they were both in their prime with Cleveland, it was a sight to behold. To be able to run that back in LA would definitely be something fans are chopping at the bit to see. And with that being said, Kyrie, LeBron going up against Steph, Klay, and Draymond again, I don't even want to talk about the ratings because that would be tremendous for NBA ratings. So, all three parties, Kyrie Irving, Los Angeles, and the NBA would benefit from this happening, and this is definitely something that could maybe happen. Let me get into it. We all know how difficult it can be for players to get traded during their contract. It usually takes a lot of leverage from the player to be able to go where they'd like to. With Anthony Davis coming to LA the first time, he basically told the Pelicans, I am not playing anywhere but LA, so trade me there. Any other team that tries to come get me, I'm not going to be re-signing. So that puts every other team in the NBA at an impasse, because why would they give up any assets for a player that they know is not going to re-sign with their franchise? And that is similar to what Kyrie is going to have to do. He's going to have to opt into his contract next season and request a trade solely to the Los Angeles Lakers. If he gets to do that, he's going to put the Los Angeles Lakers in a fantastic position to go and trade for him. And what's the one trade that everyone seems to be talking about? Russell Westbrook for Kyrie Irving. And Brooklyn would also have to fill in another player to match the salary of Russell Westbrook. But what is the real likelihood that Russell Westbrook will be a Brooklyn Net next year? Because we all know Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, the relationship is a bit off, and we all know what happened when they separated. So what is the real likelihood that it's going to happen? Because everyone seems to be talking about it, and that is very unlikely. It's probably going to be a no. that is just not a likely scenario. There's just a horrible fit there. I can't see Ben Simmons and Russell Westbrook playing on the same court. The spacing issues would be unbearable, and I don't think Kevin Durant would even want to run it back with Russell Westbrook. So with Russell Westbrook being the only real bargaining tool for the Los Angeles Lakers, how are they going to go about getting a star like Kyrie with no real trade assets really besides THT and Kendrick Nunn? And that is going to have to be a multi-team deal. You're going to have to bring 2, 3, maybe even 4 teams in on a big deal to make this happen. We all know that there is other teams that actually are interested in Russell Westbrook, being the Charlotte Hornets, the New York Knicks have shown a little bit of interest. So if they can all get together and make one big trade, maybe send some players from the Hornets like Terry Rozier to the Brooklyn Nets, and then the Brooklyn Nets send some players to the Hornets, and then they send Kyrie Irving to the Lakers. There's just a lot of options, and I might go over a future video listing all the possible scenarios because there is so many scenarios and so many teams that can get involved in this, making this trade happen. And this only really happens, as like I said, is if Kyrie Irving says that he only wants to be a Laker. If that does not happen, the odds of him becoming a Laker are very, very slim. But we all want it to happen. We all are anticipating it happening. And I'm sure that the likelihood of it happening is higher than it's been in a long time. So what do you guys think about Kyrie becoming a Laker? Where do you think he will go? Or do you think he's going to stay a Brooklyn Net? Let me know your opinions in the comments because I'm always excited to read them. So thank you guys for watching. See you next time.